Hey, Ian Robertson here. We did a podcast on Inspector Toolbelt talk a week or two ago with Nick Grimico. Actually, got quite a bit of discussion, so I wanted to go over a couple of things. So, first of all, Nick actually brought out some really great points. Not necessarily every guest is going to say things the way that we would say things, but at the same time, Nick made some really great points. But the thing that seemed to get the most attention was the fact that Nick touched on pricing and how he didn't like low priced home inspectors. And to be honest with you, it does affect our industry, whether we'd like to admit it or not. So there was some discussion going back and forth. So I wanted to take some of the math because I like to look at things in a mathematical way and just real quick go over things. So, first of all, the average home inspection fee in 1995 ish was about $300. So that was about average back then. So that's actually not too far off of what the average is right now. It was hovering around $400 for a little while, and now it's back down to like 350, depending on who you look at and all that stuff. But averaging about 350. So some people have gotten upset when I've told them this when they've asked me about their pricing and all that. But let's say we're a home inspector who charges 250, and you guys know who you are out there. So I'm going to do some math for you. So if we did just the basics of a home inspection, let's say we had a 45-minute drive to get to that inspection and 45 minutes back to our office. So that's about an hour and a half. 2 hour inspection. Let's say 1 hour of report writing time and answering questions, because there's always going to be scheduling with the agent and client asking questions and this and that. So let's say all those sundries add up to about an hour. And then we have to average things out throughout the year that we have to do. So continuing education, marketing, the certifications that we get, real estate office presentations, visiting open houses, drive time to and from those things, checking with test results for mold and all that stuff, research when we don't know something or want to know more about something. All of that stuff together, average out throughout the year, we're looking at about 5 to 6 hours per inspection. Now, for some of us, we may not realize that it takes us that long to provide just one home inspection. But looking at that to do 1 2 hour inspection, drive time, report writing, answering phones, talking with the client, which we didn't just mention, before the inspection to schedule them 10, 15 minutes, whatever it happens to take. So if we take that, you're looking at about 5 6 hours. Now let's take how much it costs us in real dollars and cents to be able to conduct that inspection. So we have gas, marketing expenses. So everything from even if we're going the cheapest way possible, we have the cheapest hosting for our website, the cheapest, almost no marketing material. We still have business cards. We still have hosting for our website. We still have, the phone that we use for our business, and the tablet that we use, and software, insurance, fees to renew our license if we're in a licensed state. On average, it's about $125 to $175 per inspection. Now, it's actually a little bit more, but I'm going baseline numbers. Like, we're just cutting every corner possible. 125 was a realistic number before, not with inflation, not with what we're paying for everything. But for argument's sake, let's say that. So, on average, we are making, if we're charging about $300 an inspection, we're making about $25 to $28 per hour. That's a low fee. And I say that's low because we also pay a higher tax rate on it, and we don't get any benefits. So right here, I'm on ZipRecruiter, and I'm looking at a listing for the local Walmart warehouse. So by the way, this is a great job. I have friends who work there. It's actually a really great job, but they'll start you off at $26 an hour, and it comes with vision, medical, dental, paid time off, life insurance, and retirement. All of that. And we don't have to have all the headache. We just show up and work. So that's how little we're making if we're charging the average or even a little bit less. So let's go over some other angles of the math. So there was a home inspector that actually made some legitimate comments, which I appreciated, about even housing. So housing, for instance, in 1995, going back to that same year, was $114,000 for the average home in the U.S. The average home in the U.S. right now fluctuates, but it's around $384,000. So that is 3.36 times the amount just for housing. So if we did that with our inspection fee, $300 in 1995, it should be $1,008 approximately in today's dollars to make what we used to make in 1995. So that's not realistic. We're only up $50 on average. So as we can see, we're literally making about a third of what we used to. That's insane. We're making about a third if you account for inflation with just a housing number. Now, obviously, the other inflation numbers are different, but we're just talking real dollars and cents here. So let's take it down even a level to groceries. So, for instance, eggs were 89 cents a dozen in 1995. 2024, $2.51. That's still almost 3 times. It's 2.8 times what it used to be back in 1996. So whether we go by groceries, gas, housing, whatever it is, we are scraping by on those numbers. So my problem with the low numbers in the industry is it pushes guys out that are doing a fantastic job and creates a mentality of I have to compete on price, which we may say, well, I'm completely honorable. I do an amazing inspection for $300. Okay, but maybe the next guy won't. And maybe a guy who's looking at the industry saying, he could be the best inspector in the universe. And he may say, well, I'm not going to get into this industry if that's all I'm going to make. Or other guys trying to compete on price, they may cut back on time. And if we really look deep down in our soul, in our heart of hearts, so to speak, does that $300 really build our business? Does that really give that client everything that we say that we're giving them? Because if we made more, could we have more time to rest and be more aware on our inspections, to get more certifications and continuing education without having to worry about the influx of multiple inspections? Are we driving down the prices and then maybe not with ourselves, if that's the way we're thinking, but with others, driving down the quality? So like or hate my opinion, but I may not agree with how Nick said it, but I do agree with what he said. Low prices do hurt the home inspection industry. We are worth every penny of what we do. We can't be replaced by AI. We can't be outsourced. We are here and we are necessary. And the whole era of skipping inspections has proved how necessary we as home inspectors are. So much so that states are making legislation. So if we're that necessary, we should charge for it.